Pushed. Button, that
Button is pushed. Button is pushed on episode 17, series 2 of the Ladies Wot Pod, when it's been, I was about to say action-packed. No, it's been a weekend packed full of rugby games, some of which had more action than others. I think that's fair to say.
Yes, some halves were lacking action. Yes.
There was, some were positively dull, if we're honest, including one at Franklin's Gardens. I was slightly bored at times. When I say slightly, very. Anyway, we've decided, because, we do plan this, ladies and gentlemen. I know it always seems to be, looks like it's off the cuff, but there is some planning gone into this. And we're going to go in strict chronological order. I say strict. We may get it wrong slightly, timing-wise, but we're trying to do it as much as possible.
We're doing our best. Are we going to introduce ourselves?
Yeah, we can introduce ourselves because there may be new people. I just presume everybody knows who we are now. So I am Liz Saunders. It's very first thing on a Monday morning as well, because I'll explain
why. It's a very early recording of a pod.
Yeah, early. So I'm Liz Saunders. I'm chairman of the Saints Supporters Club. I am one of the Halos, Chief Halo, self-appointed Chief Halo, and granny to 2 mini rugby players, mother to a retired rugby player, and General Rugby Nose. That is I. And you are.
Mr. And you're Jones. In South Northants, whereas I'm
in South Northants, but it's quite sunny this morning.
I now look over my shoulder. Sunny? Cambridgeshire. Sunny here. I'm not saying where in Cambridgeshire. I'm north of Cambridge, on the edge of the fens. And I'm Claire Jones, and I'm one of the group of photographers at the Saints and Bedford Blues and Loughborough Lightning. And am I mother to an ex-rugby player? I think Mrs. C would say she fleetingly played at Sparking Rugby Club, Jason Lennon's old club. Those are the days. And it's episode 17. And we're going to start. We're going to start in if we do strict chronological order, and it's only
we're going to go back in time.
Back in time to last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday.
Yeah. And by minutes, the first thing that happened in our pod rugby world was training at Bedford.
You were there.
I was there. So Sherpa 2, Ryan Robinson tipped me the wink, and then Douse confirmed it, that the two teams would be training with each other at Goldington Road on Tuesday evening. I went over and did some photography in the gym, because they've recently decorated the gym at Goldington Road. So I did some photographs of the lads doing their weights and stretches, and bumped into Rafe Withiat, who's had his hamstring operation, so he's on the way back. Yeah, he's on the way back.
Well soon.
Yeah, well soon. But yeah, they were all in the gym, and then I headed outside and did the Saints lads warming up in the dark, in the gloom. And at that point, I got a bit of a ticking off, Mr. Saunders.
Did you? Who did that to you?
Mr. Finn Brown said, "Excuse me, I've got a bone to pick with you."
Ooh.
To which I said, "Oh, yes." He said, "You called me old." To which I responded, "Well, compared to Johnny Wyman, you are." And he went,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, "And unless you've got to 61, you're not old. Try being 61. And he went, "I feel like I'm 61. And I went, "Oh, no, you don't."
No, trust me, you don't. You really do not. More on ages later, though. We'll come to ages.
Yes, there's a lot of discussion of ages. Anyway, so training, it was, the bit I really enjoyed was when I went to shoot the backs, forwards. I went to shoot the backs on the main pitch, and it was lovely to see Slights and Ferbs. Poor old Slights took a bang on the nose, so he had the, tissue up the nose routine. But it was great seeing them running around and practicing taking high balls and all the rest of it. And then we had the two squads running up and down the hill. It wasn't always Saints going down the hill and Bedford going up it. They did swap. But yeah, it was good to see. And then it started raining, which became the theme of the week. But yeah, it was a good session. And I saw Douse fleetingly at Bedford. And then you saw him, Mrs. Saunders.
I did. He arrived at the season ticket holders forum just about on time. He was heading for a fine, but he managed to I think it was 2 minutes past 7 when he arrived in a flurry of douseness.
So and apologised that he was still wearing his coaching fleecy top thing rather than getting dressed up for the occasion.
Yes. Yeah. So we had the then season ticket holders forum, which was very jolly. That wildly oversubscribed, apparently. They got a waiting list of quite a lot of people. A lot of questions had been sent in, and there were a lot of questions from the floor as well. And Julia Chapman gave her bit, the CEO. Quite a different delivery to Mark Darban. Much more user friendly. As in, the first thing she started with was the pasty wagon.
That was priceless.
It was
car.
Yeah,
I was a bit behind. I was listening to it on, playback.
Yeah. So for those of you who so the pasty wagon used to come up from Newport, and they decided it, and I can kind of see why, even selling pasties at £7 a time, if they got to factor in their staff coming up from Newport and all that. So even though they were the West Cornwall Pasty Company, they came from South Wales. I'd suspected that. Their accents were a bit of a giveaway. But anyway, so they'd opted not to come up anymore. And then there's the pie wagon. Comes from Leicester. That's a bit worrying. But anyway, so the club have managed to get the pie wagon to do pasties. And the pie wagon also does chips. So it has a plus on the pasty van, because the pasty van didn't do chips. So that's, I think it could be a win-win. Although
yes, and there was something about there are going to be pasties elsewhere in the ground. It's not just the pie man.
Apparently so. Yeah, yes. There will be. You see, because pies are difficult to eat, pasties are and they're a hand warmer. Well, anyway, so that
I do remember watching a battle with a pie during the Women's World Cup, because it was the same group, wasn't it?
It was, and it was an immense battle. It could have been a disaster. So that's the important news. Then there was other less important news, like we're not going to make as big a loss as we might do, and things like that. That we're in as the way, in a parlous financial world, we're not doing too badly, I think was the message. And then Douse was entertaining, as Douse is, explaining about how the season is broken up into chunks. And he got a graphic, and there was a graphic of Borthwick's head for the times when we're down on numbers and how it impacts. He didn't say anything nasty about Mr. Borthwick.
He did ask if this was a live broadcast, which of course it was. He knew full well what he was doing, but anyway.
So it was. We got the message. So that was it was fun meeting up with people. And my question that I asked became a story in the Chronicle and Echo. See, once a journalist asked the incisive question, and I was just intrigued by the man mountain, JJ van der Merch, and had he fitted in and got to where he's got to quicker than expected, which Douse didn't seem to think he had, but I think he was never going to admit to me that no. So.
I thought it was interesting that Mr. Vickers, for he was the journalist that turned it into an article, didn't mention you, because I think that should have been part of the story. I was just intrigued that you didn't ask the Stealth CEO about her floodlights, which is what we talked about on the pod last week.
Well, no, because no, I don't want to see a grown woman cry.
Yes, it's very harsh.
Yeah,
I did think that was the right thing to do. Yes, or not do is the case. I thought it was excellent, and actually you could listen to it in the car, as I did. I had it. It hadn't finished, but I wound it back so I could hear from the start. So as I was trundling back from training in Bedford, but I thought it was very, very well put together.
It seemed to flow very well, I have to say. It's this harmony that we're seeing on the pitch seems to spread all the way now, right up to the top. It was 3 people on that stage that seemed to get on well with each other.
Yes, and there was a good explanation about the relationship with Lightning, which must have answered a whole load of questions about how that works, including some that I didn't realise, even though I talked to Bobby and several people. So that was really interesting. It was interesting about social media, although none of us could read the graphic. In fact, we were still asking questions about the graphic on Saturday. Just nice that Saracens were at the bottom of the list. And that the content is going very well, which is great. And, that's the likes of Tom Quire and Lewis Dean producing some excellent content. So well done them. It was good to hear about the plans for the squad, the plans for the club, and that we're in at the moment it feels like we've got a safe pair of hands, pairs of hands looking after us. Well, my observation is, and Ella actually made reference to the very first forum all those years ago. Is the quality of the question from the floor.
It's much better.
Immeasurably.
Yeah.
The price
the first
of beer,
it was always about beer and queues. And queues for beer.
Queues and replica shirt prices. That was you like bingo. You could play it every time. Whereas there was some really insightful questions from everybody, including you, Mrs. Saunders. I thought there was. I'm not being patronising. It was. I was like, oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But no, there was some really insightful stuff. And the only area of concern seemed to be about tickets for Europe, which I think generally it's regarded that it's a bit opaque at the moment and it's not clear.
Yeah.
We've had, we've talked about it before.
Just out of interest, if anybody wants to go and see Scarlett's play Bordeaux, I don't even know when it is. I do have 3 tickets for that available.
Yes, I was saying exactly the same thing to Mrs. Lockett on Saturday evening. Do you know anybody who might want to go and see Scarlett's? Yes. So Tuesday, I think, was a very successful event. I think it's good. It was good to see, and having these occasionally are a good thing. It was also good to hear about the clarification of the open days, that there will be open, and it was fascinating how fast Douse leapt in to answer that question.
Yeah.
There will be open days, and no, the players won't get asked; they will get told.
Yes, they'll get told to mingle. So it sounds like they're going to do an open training session like they did last year. So
which went really, really well, and Hoppers did a great job. Talking to people what the guys were doing with Pete. So
I mean, there was a nominal sum, wasn't there? But was it £2?
That was to pay for the stewarding because it was quite a big crowd.
You've got to pay for the stewarding, and it's It was.
We're not swimming in money, as we learnt last week. So then we swiftly moved on. Before we knew it, it was Bedford Blues versus Caldy.
Yes, could have been water polo, couldn't it? Really, it was so wet.
Third place, fourth in the champ.
Oh yeah.
And what was it? The tweet at halftime that Sherpa 2 put out. One for the purists. I think even the purists were struggling.
I actually said that to my IT department as we were sitting. I said, "This must be one for the purists." I don't think I'm a purist because I am slightly bored. And it was turgid. Turgid, I think the word is.
It was wet. So we have a scale of 1 to Thomond Park, where Coventry is a very close second. And we weren't quite at that level, but we weren't far off. It was every time the weather looked like it was going to stop, it just started again. And you can see from anyone who's seen the old photo that Sherpa 2's been putting up on the old Instagram, you will see that there's a lot of wet.
There was a lot of wet. I was ever so glad we were in the stand. I was by the window in the stand.
Well, interesting.
See, but I was dry.
My phone was protesting violently. It got very upset because I hooked my phone up to my camera and it's going, no, there's water about. It's like, really? I hadn't noticed. And obviously, I was worried about this water getting in there. So
there was an incident with the scoreboard as well, and the timer on the scoreboard.
Now, I've had an explanation about that.
I've had an explanation. That doesn't match with what was happening. I think there was a...
No, he got... While he was doing the getting back to 40 or 80 or whatever, some bloke came to have a conversation with him. So we just... All the ground could see was 61 minutes, flashing furiously.
There was also... So, he went up and down that scale like...
No, well, he did admit
Lang playing Rachmaninoff, I tell you. I think that was an excuse that came later. It doesn't fit. What we were watching does not fit with what he said. Anyway,
so before everyone worries that the score was wrong at Bedford Blues, it wasn't. I mean, 3-all's not hard. It was the timing. And Dr. Jones looks after the scoreboard. He did say that Sherpa 2 got involved and started randomly pushing buttons. The issue was you have to set each half when it comes to time. And Dr. Jones wasn't concentrating and managed to cod it up. So he had to go round the clock again.
Several times.
Several times.
Once.
And then got interrupted.
That makes it sound like it was seamless.
What it looked like to the rest of us was that the world had stopped at 61 minutes and 61 was flashing furiously.
And it went up to 82 and then back to 41. It was all over the shop, I tell you.
It was all over the shop.
Set 2. I mean, good. It went French at one point, I felt. And I did wonder whether it was water in the control board.
No, it was Dr. Jones's digits not working.
But it wasn't. Yeah. It was
Dr.
user
Jones's
error.
The IT department getting a bit overexcited. Anyway,
to be honest, that was the most
half.
It was the most exciting thing that had happened up until that point, to be fair.
Oh, I did feel sorry for the man on the PA. He was doing his best. Anyway, second half, what I would say, and I don't know whether you could feel it in the stands, was the wind was going the opposite way round to what it normally does. So normally it sort of goes diagonally down the hill, is the prevailing wind. Well, this week it was going up the hill, which is why suddenly Will Maisie was kicking the ball miles compared to the first half. So the wind really did help Bedford in the second half.
Yeah.
And you could see Will was getting a bit... I thought he had a really, really good game. So Will Maisie, for those of you who don't know Bedford's team, is the fly half. Lovely man. And he had a really, really good game. And he decided that he'd take matters into his own hands, really, didn't he? And he went on a Maisie run.
He did.
And ended up scoring a fabulous try.
Brilliant try.
He aimed for the hat. For those of you on Spotify, this is a beautifully symmetrical try of Will scoring, despite the best efforts of the two Caldy defenders. But it was a great try. But and Sherpa 2 is very happy because I got the build up to the try as Will is dodging and weaving, so he can do one of his sequences. So that seemed to sort of galvanise.
It did, yeah.
Blues,
yeah,
yes. And then so it was something like, what was it? We were now up to I don't know what it was.
I can't remember.
10.
I honestly can't remember.
10-3. And then a couple of penalties were exchanged, and it went to 13-6 or 8 or I don't know, whatever it was. Oh no, Will scored a penalty, and it went to 13-3. And then in the manner of these things this weekend, Bedford nodded off, I think I would describe it.
Yes, they did. They did. Caldy had a bit of a purple patch, didn't they?
And then went hurtling down their left wing and scored. So it was now 13-8. And everyone, the tension in Goldington Road went up a few notches.
It did.
And But Caldy panicked, I think would be the way I'd describe it. Yeah. They didn't need to, really. But they did, which resulted in an intercept try
Yes.
by Lucas Titherington, the fabulously named Lucas Titherington. And Goldington Road went, yip, yip, crazy. And again, Bedford denied their opposition a losing bonus point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which was, 28 it ended up. So a good win for...
it was a very good win against a gnarly, tough side. And
yes.
I think
really difficult side. And of course, we should mention Archie Appleby came on again and put himself about it.
He did.
I met his mum and dad afterwards, who were a lovely, lovely couple. And I said to them, and in fact, I mentioned it to Kerry on Saturday, I took a photograph with Archie, with his mum and dad, and I said, it only seems like 5 minutes ago I was doing exactly the same with one Tom Lockett, and we all know what happened to him, which Archie was very impressed with. The other person who came over for a chat was Reece Marshall, who has thoroughly enjoyed his time at Goldington Road, playing the role of Jim Henry, because, of course, the coaches have swapped things about a bit during the PRC phase, and Reece has been coaching with the Blues for the past few weeks, and he's thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think he'll make an absolute cracking coach. I think
so.
Yeah. I think he's made for the role. So there were 2,100 people there on Friday, weren't there?
Good grief! Yes. Yeah.
Meanwhile, up in Manchester.
Just before you, actually, it does tie in with this because Caldy had a very familiar face in the back row, didn't they?
They did. Number 26, weirdly.
Yeah, it's not even his age. I can't understand that. Yeah, so one Reuben Logan was playing for Caldy in the back row. His mum and dad were there.
Yes, wearing blue hats, trying to go in disguise. Yes. He of course played for Sale Sharks last week.
Yes.
But Sale went very strong this week, so they had a basically, obviously not then internationals, but they had a lot of their first teamers out to play Exeter, and 2,000 people turned up in what can only be described, because we have news thanks to Pete Nuttall, our PA, of a deluge. So
look, it's wet. It's wet there at the best of times.
Yes.
It's Manchester. It's wet. That's why they did Cotton. It's the wet side of the Pennines.
Yes.
So,
And they took pity on the crowd, and Sale actually offered everybody a free beer because it was so bad.
I just think, So
there you go.
Win.
2,000. There were a lot more at our game on Saturday.
There were.
Yeah.
So did Sale win? Do we know?
Yeah, they crumped Exeter. Yeah. But they were always going to. They went very strong. Yeah.
More of that later.
I think more of that later. Yes. England. I think in chronological order, the next one is England versus the All Blacks.
I think it is. Yeah.
And we had 4 players in the squad.
In the 23. Yeah.
3 starting and Henry on the bench.
Yeah.
And it was a bit wet there as well, wasn't it? So it all started. Well, I say it all started, but we of course had to go through the rigmarole of the haka.
I like it as a spectacle, but it isn't a religious thing,
And it isn't the national anthem, and it isn't. I was just.
It's not our culture, and it's let the opposition do what they want. Anyway, England horseshoed it with the oldest at one end, Jamie George, and the youngest at the other end. Apparently, they weren't sure about that, but he was there by then. When you can't trust the little one because they're going to do something
They're going to do something, yes, in a very Alfie kind of way.
Yeah, and he did. He was well. There's all sorts of things on social media. So he was pulling the most bizarre faces, you know,
and licking his lips,
licking his lips, and just actually can't wait. Oh, just let me at them. And people say, well, he's showing no respect, and he should. I said, to be fair, he's facing a load of blokes who are sticking their tongues out and slashing throats, motions, and all sorts.
Why are we allowing weapons on the pitch? She said, repeating it for the second. It's a bloody rugby game. Get that spear head off.
Exactly. You know, do it as whatever. We don't need props anyway. So and they're complaining that Henry's just pulling funny faces, you know, in an ADHD sort of a Henry sort of a way, really. Anyway, it was what it was, and we all got underway eventually after the panto.
Yes, so it took them a while to find their flow. They went 12-0 down.
Yeah.
And the attack did not look well. It looked unbalanced, and it was all muddled in midfield. And you know, Dingers kept finding people in channels that shouldn't be there, and it was you know, likewise Ollie Lawrence, and it was all a bit weird. You were going to say something?
Well, I wonder why that might have been. Really, if there'd been a different number 10, might it have been different, really? But who knows? We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Having said that, the momentum shifted with 2 drop goals from George Ford. And I mean, I like George Ford, really. It's not his fault that they dropped Finn for him. However, when he scored his try, there was very muted applause. And a relief when it was chalked off, which is nothing against George Ford, because it's not his fault.
Yes. So I would say there were a number of things that came out. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about TMOs later on, because TMOs this weekend it's just got a bit.
Done your head in, haven't they? They've got
doing
big
your head
time
in now. It's just you know. But I was delighted that the partnership of Ollie Lawrence and Dingers is working so well. And yes, it is working with the half-back pairing of Mitch and Ford. The second half, something seemed to click that hadn't in the first half. And the pack started doing some really serious work. And I'm going to shout out to Colsey, because I thought he was magnificent. He was everywhere. I mean, the engine he showed, I mean, absolutely bloody brilliant. Well done, Kelsey. Just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Mitch scored when Underhill scored his try. Moments later, Mitch had already scored, and we could see the ball hit. I mean, I don't know what was going on there. Back to the TMO again.
Yeah. See it hit the line.
Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous. But anyway, and then when Dingers scored, oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Gardens went mental.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And at the time he scored, I was talking to Lenny Newman, who said, you know, people never appreciated Conrad Smith in an All Blacks team. And that's what Dingers is to this England team. He is the Conrad Smith. And Lenny's absolutely spot on. It was an outstanding performance. It was almost like last week against Fiji, Dingers was trying too hard. He just let his natural game come through this weekend. And you can. I love it when they look down the line and there is Dingers directing things and George Ford acknowledging it. I love it when you see those things. It's just so Dingers, and it's so wonderful seeing him relax into his game in the way that
he was more confident in his game this week. I felt they all grew as the game wore on. They all grew in confidence and realised that actually they may be All Blacks, but they're only human and they're beatable.
And Damien and isn't all that, because Henry proved it.
Yeah,
nipped in a very Henry kind of way. Bit of football puts Tom Roebuck away to score.
And somebody, I must stop reading social media because it's not doing my blood pressure any good at all. I try to ignore it. I did have to reply to a Frenchman who had said something about the English not knowing anything about respect. So I replied in French, oh, and the French, they know all about respect or something. So they know respect. I know. So I just thought quite a lot of people have liked that. But somebody said, well, he just got on the end of a lucky kick. And I'm thinking, you have no idea how hard it is to kick a rugby ball and keep it anywhere near.
Yeah.
Going anywhere where you want it to, and that speed of thought to actually get the boot to it before anybody did, and to not boot it wildly while coming at that pace, and then to do it again and set it up for
and
not
point
even
to
try.
Roebuck. Say to him, go for it. Yeah,
go for it. Don't even try and pick it up yourself. Hold back because you know Roebuck's coming, and go, there you go, mate, in you go.
Yeah.
To me, what a rugby brain that child has. I say child because he is to me. He's only 20.
Well, yes.
Going on 20.
No, Henry, well done, sir. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that just and then that actually that 33-19 scoreline reflected what happened in the game. You know, from 12-0 down to 33-19 mint. And of course, as you say, social media has gone a bit mad. And I have to say, I'm incredibly selective in what I read because, frankly, I don't care.
I try to be.
But we've got both of us enjoyed. In fact, Mrs. C sent me the TikTok video of the dancing.
Yeah.
Now, Primo and Finn are form on this one because there's when they got bored in a hotel room in Exeter, they did something similar. We went on to win the following day. This was post-winning, and it was Freddie Stewart, Henry, Primo,
Three Saints and a Tiger. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Doing their best dance routine. Yes.
He's pretty good.
Appearing at the Windmill Theatre shortly will be.
Yeah. It just made me laugh. I don't know how Freddie Stewart's got there, whether he's rooming with one of them and it was being filmed in his room. My daughter and I were discussing it, and we did wonder whether they'd gone round asking everybody to be the fourth. Mitch's eyes still haven't rolled back from where he's been. Just go away. I don't want to be in your dance troupe. And the others have paid Freddie in beer to go and do it. I don't know.
Well, he did look like he was enjoying himself. So
he did look like he was enjoying himself. Yeah. So
no, it was lovely. It was lovely.
Very funny. Very funny.
Meanwhile, the rain in Spain.
Oh my God, that was up at Coventry levels, I reckoned.
Well, I think
the crowd. None of the crowd.
Yeah, we need a feedback from Laura and Rob Hendy, who we know were there. So, Laura, come on, give us the weather report from Spain.
Was it Coventry levels or
was it Coventry or
I mean, there were a few hardy souls sitting close to the pitch. They're thinking, there's nobody there. Where's all? And then it panned back, and they're all undercover, so they're all back and
hiding underneath the roof. Yes.
Yeah, there was a fairly good crowd there. It just didn't look it because they were all in the up at the back because it was absolutely chucking it down, and it was Spain came at it all guns blazing, and there was one of the Spanish players. I would have liked Nigel Owens to have been reffing at this moment when there was, I don't even think it was his head. There was a glancing contact and he reeled back like he'd been shot through the eye by a sniper. And a lot of, there's more football in Spain, isn't there? It showed. I just want to get up. Just get up. Had enough. It was a bit.
Although we have to say England were a bunch of planks for getting 2 sent off in short order and going down to 13. Yeah.
But the second yellow card, Mitchell, what's his name?
Michelot,
Nathan Michelot. He's only just come back after 4 weeks ban for a red card. So I think he needs to sort him. It's a Saracen. He needs to sort himself out.
He
Anyway.
does. He does.
So it was a fairly grim game.
It was. So
And
we
we
had
were-
4 representatives down there.
did.
Not all of them
Yeah.
were playing. So we had Craig Wright, who didn't feature in the Matchday 23, I don't think. Well, if he didn't,
No, I
come
don't think
on. George Hendy, Archie McParland, and Manny Iogan. And Manny started and George started. And Archie came on actually quite early.
He did. Yeah.
Englefield. And I can see why they swapped for this game so that they got a chance to see Englefield, because he looks a really promising talent. But he did his shoulder and he looked in some pain when
that looked very painful, poor lad.
Yeah, it did look very, very painful. Trying to tackle a prop. Not a good idea.
Which must have brought back painful memories for Archie as well, if you think about it.
Well, and poor old George, who's only just Talking
So
of
Archie
George,
came on. I thought Archie played very well under the conditions.
He did. You know. Although he looked a bit frustrated at times. As did poor Manny Iogan, who was like, what am my pack doing? What is going on here? George, on the other hand, what does that poor lad have to do to score for England A? When they played at Bristol, and I can't remember who the opposition were, he went the length of the pitch and it got hauled back for some misdemeanour. He did the same on Saturday and it got hauled back for some Nathan, what's his face? The Saracens winger.
Paul Saracen.
Or whatever his name is. And knocked on, fallen over, God knows what. And then he almost scored again, but got hauled down just before the line. But he presented the ball beautifully, such that Thistlehour only literally had to pick it up and dab it down. But George, 3 times he's created something from usually not a great deal, and hasn't managed to score. So George, we love you.
We do.
But we do need a weather report from Laura.
Yeah.
And Spain started the trend of something that continued throughout the weekend, leading with 6 minutes to go by and they scored 2 tries and won 29-24.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, that was
yes. Well done to England for continuing to play. Spain. Yes. We've got, when we were talking earlier, we've got Italy versus the Box. So the Box.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Italy actually gave, I understand, because I only saw brief. Italy gave a bit of a run, the Box a run for their money in the scrum, where of course Mr. Fischetti was. And they decided that they're always going to play with 14 men. It's too easy having 15. There's lots of debate about red cards and whether Mostert should have been a red card. I don't know. I didn't see. But they ran out comfortable winners against Italy, so they're looking very, very dangerous.
Yeah, they are. They did. Yeah.
So, and then it was time for Saints versus Newcastle Red Bulls in the PREM Rugby Cup.
PREM Rugby Cup, the Development Cup. What do they call it? Yeah.
You know where this is going, ladies and gentlemen.
So, for those,
she's putting her glasses on.
I am putting my glasses on.
She's getting serious.
I am serious. I've again, social media. I don't know what I do to myself, but this is from Saints, so-called Saints supporters go, oh, that was a dreadful display. Oh, yada yada yada. Right, I've had a look at the side that Red Bulls put out was just about the strongest side they could put out. Yeah,
including their recent arrival from Ulster.
Yeah,
who scored a hat trick.
Scored a hat trick.
Yeah,
and I will show you that I've done my work. I'm showing my workings out there.
Yeah. For those of you on Spotify, we've seen the Saunders notebook.
Yeah. So I just did a head-to-head across the board about ages. So their backs, Ethan Grayson was the youngest at 23, and then Obatoyin Inbo was 24, 26, 27, 27. Ours were 20 is in the first half because it all got changed around after half an hour. So Ferbs at 29, Slights at 25, Lumley at 18, Toby Tame at 22, and James Pater at 18. They're halfbacks.
Halfbacks. Yeah, go on.
They're halfbacks. They got Conan at 29, which matched our tone at 29.
Yes.
Then they got Stuart at 34, and we got Johnny at 19. I mean, in the front row, you got Sonny Tungawea at 19, packing up against Richard Palfreman at 31. And it goes through like that. I mean, pretty bad. So the average age of the team, the starting 15, was 23.6.
Yes.
You know, and they were up against.
It only went one way after they. So there was mild panic amongst some of the saintly folk when Ferbs.
There was. Oh, mild. It was close to hysteria in the churches when Ferbs went, "Oh my God, it's gone off," and I went, "No, it's
all part of the plan to bring it back gradually.
Yeah.
This gradual return to play, and likewise, Slights was taken off. What we hadn't, I don't think anybody could factor in, is that Anthony Bellow, I think he was described as a dead leg, so they took him off as a precaution, which suddenly meant that there was a bit of a shuffle, including Toby Tame admitted that he got asked to be fly-off.
I think a bit of a shuffle. I think there was rock, paper, scissors going on in the backs as to who would have to play. Nobody had any experience. So we put Tom James there because he's had awful experience playing.
Oh, bless his comms. So up until that point, it hadn't been a great spectacle. It was great to see. Well, there were two things that were great to see. One obviously was Ferbs and Ollie linking up for Ollie to score in front of me. Thank you very much, Ollie. And then on the other side, they put away Amena Kakasol to score a beautiful try in the other corner. So, and which Tone, bless his heart, converted, so we were 14-0 up. And then once the troubles, we started removing backs and we lost Anthony, you could see that momentum start to move again. Yeah. Now, this is a development competition. And Newcastle had to... It's what Exeter did last season when they got their season in a pickle, if you remember. They played their strongest team in order to try and get a win, to get some sort of positivity into the club. And Exeter had one season of it. Newcastle have had several. It's not new news. And it must be draining to go out every week. In fact, Callum Chicks talked about it, going out every week, thinking this is the week, and it doesn't happen. So for Newcastle, it meant an awful lot. I would say that we went... Do you remember in the early days of Chris Boyd, we went on a losing streak like no tomorrow?
Oh, we did. Oh, yes, we couldn't catch a cold, could we?
Yeah, and he described it that we found new and interesting ways of losing. But all those players, a lot of those players, your Dingers, Dingers at Colsey, a lot of those players cut their teeth in that period of time. Yes. They got some real lumps and bumps along the way. And those players on Saturday, the coaches will have learnt loads and the players will have learnt even more. Yeah. And
the coaching setup now, here's an interesting little snippet, and I told him I'd be using it. So young Emeka, who's rehabbing coming back, he appeared clutching a notebook. So
you were straight in there. We were Debbie Tyson and I watching as you scuttled to go and talk to him.
I scuttled up the stairs. Fortunately, he was sitting down, so we were able to see eye to eye, and chatting about, what have you been doing? And he's been sort of helping coach the line out and following on, trying to learn from James Craig and making notes. So I was just talking to him about, so do you, is it something you have to do on the hoof as you see how the line outs are going, or have you got it all planned out that, if we get a line out in this part of the pitch, this is what we do? And he said it's a bit of both. I mean, I'm not going to give any more secrets, but they'd studied their line out, and I can't even remember how the line outs went now.
They were a bit
meh, weren't they?
They were good. It was a bit of a curate's egg, I would say.
Yeah.
But yes, and of course, again, it's what Tom Lockett did last season, because he was showing me his notes in the changing room. Yeah. So it's good to see that the players, because James Craig, of course, was in the rain in Spain. And so it's good to see that the opportunities. So lots will have been learned. Do you remember? I mean, it wasn't just in the Premiership Rugby Cup. We were talking about only last week that game that Dingers made his debut at Twickenham in the deluge.
My goodness me! That was an awful game. That was dreadful. Yeah.
But again, they all talk about the lumps that they got and the things that they learned, and so your likes of Toby Tame, Henry Lumley is 18, James Pater is 18. 18. Yeah. We're not even talking under 20s yet.
We've got Ollie Scola on the bench and Aidan Ainsworth Cave, both 19.
Yeah.
They just, without the likes of, bless him, Tom James and Ferbs, they were the only grown-ups.
To be fair.
I'm sorry? Tom West.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of expect props to be more grown up, don't you? But they're the rest of them were very young, very young.
I'd say the
Sam Graham.
The line out actually kept us going, talking about line-outs, because George McGuigan, we were roughing up their line-out beautifully, because George McGuigan was getting very frustrated because they couldn't win a line-out. So it's one game in a cup competition where we have picked a very young squad. We can't put the big boys in every game because we need them for the. We're going to run them into the ground, and
we've got to bring the children on. We've got, and if I can just remind everybody, it was Kids Takeover Day. That's all I'm saying. It's Kids Takeover Day, so they did it on the pitch as well.
And the coaches' selection supported that day beautifully.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
guys, dust yourselves down. Jimmy Bennett, shout out for Jimmy Bennett. He's a guest player from Oni, Loughborough University, I think. Absolutely played his heart out. Had a barnstorming run in the second half. Well done, Jimmy. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, we had Tom Rowe, who played in the previous game. He's a Bucks player for Loughborough as well, and has now actually got a contract. I don't know what the plan is for Jimmy, but there are a number of youngsters who've come and done the shirt proud against some gnarly old Anyway, saying that, there are a couple of people at Newcastle I'm particularly fond of. One is Alan Dickens, an old friend.
Oh yeah, lovely man.
Afterwards, and that, and it did feel a bit like they were celebrating the World Cup, but we'll forgive him a little bit. But a big hug from Dicko, who's a really lovely guy and has had a tough time of it of late. And then the other one who just keeps going. He's one of those people that you always associate with what was Newcastle Falcons and is now Newcastle Red Bull. Mark Smith, their media manager, who is an absolute superstar. Yeah, celebrated with a cold pizza and a can of Sprite or something. Anyway, lovely man.
So they don't force them to drink Red Bull then?
Oh, well, when we went up in whenever it was for the Prem game, there was a lot of Red Bull in various flavours.
There was, yeah.
Yes, and I remember Liz and Liz
I'm going sweet treat. I'm going early.
Oh yeah. More of that in a minute. I'll join you. Thank you, Jane.
Oh, Jane, that's lovely.
Oh yeah. So for those of you on Spotify, we are eating.
We've both taken a mouthful.
Smells very crumbly, but very lovely. shortbread.
Very lovely shortbread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there was a lot of Red Bull up there in different flavours. And one of them, I think Tom described it, that he took one sniff of the can and thought, no, I'm not drinking that.
Yeah.
I avoided it. There's, huge amounts of caffeine. It's bad enough I drink coffee in the morning. Huge amounts of caffeine at night. No, not happening.
And sugar. So
shout out to those two, because I'm very fond of them. And, and I'm also very fond of Ethan Grayson, formerly of this parish, who was one of the younger members of the squad. And had a frustrating time with injuries, and contacted me for a photo. So I did him some photos, bless him. But he was playing fullback, so my chances of actually getting a photo of him were quite reasonable. Anyway,
so,
there has been a bit of a disaster, though, talking of cakes.
Yeah, you've got a confession.
But I genuinely don't know what's happened. So, Richard, somewhere out there is my box of cakes. Now, it might be in the press room, but we don't think it is. But I've got to ask Liz. Or it's been cake napped, because it was sitting on top of my bag during the game, and I may not have noticed the fact that it had gone. So we don't know. But anyway, I'll have to put the call out to the club to see if the cakes have been discovered. So, yes, so it was chocolate orange frangipane.
It was lovely.
Yeah. Simon Robinson very kindly did a taste test on both the Jane's shortbread and Richard's cakes, and said they were both very, very good. The third person we need to give a shout out to is Charlie. Yeah. Charlie, we finally managed to get hold of Charlie's mince pies that she very kindly left with the foundation, with Sue Wright at the foundation. And very nice they were too.
They were lovely.
Waitrose special with cognac. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Thank you. And that was a lovely thought.
Yes.
Lovely
shout
thought.
out to Charlie and her mum.
Yeah.
Sending you both lots of love.
Lots of love and hugs. Yeah, absolutely.
It did cause a little consternation when I appeared in the foundation asking where my cakes were, and there was a no, you bring us cakes, we do not give you cakes.
But Sue Wright knew otherwise. Yes,
she did. Yeah.
Yes.
So
we have a Ladies Wot Pod Player of the Match debate. We've started that debate.
Yeah. Do you want to do Sergeant Wilson first?
Sergeant Wilson. Yes.
Because there's no debate about that.
There's no debate about that one. And at 19, am I right in 19?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. Appeared on the Saints show last week. Johnny Wyman, who very politely would, with his hands, point. I noticed Archie was doing in the England A game. I don't know whether it's a vesty thing that they've been taught to do, but it's almost like, look, sir. And then pick up the ball and pass it. But by then, sir is thinking. And, the number of penalties that Johnny very politely got out of sir was very good. Unlike Chunya, who had a bit of a bad day.
I don't know what you said to sir, but he was having none of you.
It wasn't working, my friend. It wasn't working. Sir was getting a bit cross. But Johnny, you are definitely this week's Sergeant Wilson winner, because you were brilliant at it. Well done.
And I don't want to diss sir because he's learning, but some of his arm waving, I had no clue what he was giving a penalty for. And we looked to the big screen because they'll usually, and obviously they had no clue either, and it wasn't coming through on the ref link. So there was one, and we're going, well, what was that for? So it's looking like, I'm giving a penalty because you're too tall. What? No.
Talking of looking at the big screen, you've reminded me.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
James Clark, yes, court. Look at you, pair of you. So James Clark was the fourth official. He's actually refereed. He's been one of the assistant referees at the Gardens. We've had him several times. Also at Newcastle, up in the north, he was there. Excuse me, where's the warm-up gone? What's going on here? They were watching him play the All Blacks.
George Ford's try, I think.
Helping the TMO, yes. So Sir was getting a lot of help from Craig Maxwell Keyes, Central Milton Keynes, and yes, it is all I can say.
Yeah, moving swiftly on. Player of the match, then.
No, we had a debate about that, and it's a nice debate.
We've got two candidates, haven't we?
Because it involves the youngsters.
Yeah. Yes. So my candidate is young Sonny Tonga because I thought at 19, going up against Paul Freeman, who has been round the block many times and knows all the dark arts, and I don't think he let himself or us down at all. But particularly for the break that he found he was doing by accident, much to his amazement and slight surprise and terror in the second half. And I just thought, and you can see him go, no, I'm okay. I'm doing it. And it was... Yeah.
Yes, Adam Gumb's got a very good photograph of that. The look of surprise on Sonny's face was made. And I was going for a double. So I was going to... I think the man who weathered the storm of losing several half-backs, his fly-half partners kept changing.
No idea who was going to be there.
Who's going to be there next time? It was Johnny Wyman, because I thought Johnny remained remarkably calm for a teenager under fire. So I thought Johnny did a really, really, really good job and was mature beyond his years.
Yeah. So they can share it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So well done, Johnny and Sonny. Oh, it rhymes. Hey.
Yeah. There you go.
We are going to skip gaily on about France and Fiji, but the French were not.
The only other thing before we go was there was a disturbance in the church's stand.
Oh yes! I'm going to have a nibble of.
You have a nibble while I hold forth. So there were three young men who were, I think they'd supped well but not wisely, shall we say? And they were just being obnoxious. And at one point, I don't know whether it was when Saints scored or whether Newcastle scored, they managed to chuck beer over people around them. And when challenged, they just kept yuppie, giving it back. So went and complained to the stewards. And at half time, we could see the stewards looking up and right, where is the... And they'd gone, they disappeared. Then they came back, apparently, in full Saints garb that had cost quite a lot of money and tried to take their seats, or did take their seats, but then the stewards suggested that it might be a good idea if they left. Well, one of them tried to argue with Chris Knowles, former ex-Saint Chris Knowles, that he didn't really want to leave. Well, I don't think he's ever gone downstairs without his feet actually touching the stairs, like that, as he was helped on his way by Mr. Knowles. And
on his way.
Yes. Two of them were escorted forcibly, and the other one went, I'm not putting up, but no, I'm going of my own free will. And off they went, much cheers from around us, because it's just, you don't want that. You know, we've paid a lot of money. You don't need that sort of. So goodness only knows how much their failed afternoon cost them. But
well, hopefully the club made a few pounds out of them for being a pain.
Yeah. So anyway, back to our working our way through the weekend. So where have we got to?
Well, we had France versus Fiji, and Ireland versus Australia.
Wales versus Japan.
Oh, hello. Excuse me. I'm just going to tell Mrs. C that I can't talk to her right now.
Yeah, podding.
Yeah.
Do you just put podding back?
I'm just going to put... Yeah, I'll just put the words podding. Right.
You know, you don't get this level of amateurism on any other rugby pod.
She'll be driving back from where she's been this morning, because she travels quite a bit. So France versus Fiji. France did not endear themselves to the crowd, wherever they were.
I love it when a French crowd gets upset. They don't.
It was Bordeaux, but it was the football ground, not the rugby ground.
Yeah, it was Bordeaux.
And Ireland versus Australia just looked like paint dry. Yeah, I can't be bothered.
So good that an Australian beat his own countrymen, really, didn't he? Matt
Australian in the white hat beat his own. Yes. So,
yeah.
But we did learn today, this morning, talking of breaking news, Angus Scott Young, who's back in Australia, has joined the Waratahs for the 2026 season. So, well done. Oh, yeah, she's just, ladies and gentlemen, the reason her face is now lit up is she's just checking whether there's
I'm just checking there's no breaking news
at the Saints, because they keep doing it to us, but there isn't. Eh?
Yeah.
Is there?
No. It'll be this afternoon. No, it's nothing. No.
Right. So, skipping gaily on to yesterday, Sunday.
No, Wales, Japan. Wales, Japan. You've got to mention Wales,
Sorry,
Japan.
I forgot about Wales, Japan, and I was in the press room as well when that happened. Which
Wales, Japan. When Wales managed to
played ninth in world ranking terms.
Yeah. And Japan were doing.
It affects the World Cup draw, so it's not,
Yeah.
And
And Japan were doing so well, and then
they weren't.
And it was one point in it. Apparently, Eddie Jones left him feeling like he wanted to kill someone. Situation normal, then, I would have thought.
But I think default Wales realises the dawn is somewhat away. There's,
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Yes. Well done, Wales. And then Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
So I was working on my photos and half watching it, and I thought Hutch had an outstanding game. Again. TNT, up your pipe about Elliot.
Poor Elliot had to come on a lot sooner than expected.
Yes, because Darcy Ray managed to break himself. And, pack it in with the third choice prop. Just, that guy's won a premiership, so up your pipe. Anyway, he was all a bit fleeting, and they just didn't take their opportunities again. And all we can say, when we talked about it beforehand, is when Hutch came off and Duhan van der Merwe came on, Scotland were winning 21-0.
Yeah. That's all we're saying. And they went on to lose.
And got booed off the pitch.
Blimey.
So this morning, talking of breaking news.
To be fair, though, can I just say, Argentina are not the side they were. They've beaten the Lions. They've beaten various of the other Southern Hemisphere teams during their thing that they do down there at times, and it just puts into perspective how good England second string in effect was in Argentina. Because Argentina
were pretty
a good side. Yeah.
Although Argentina themselves rested a few, didn't they? They didn't play both tests. They were resting somebody.
Yeah, but it was still a pretty strong side. Yeah. And it was in Argentina.
Yeah, and it was in Argentina, which is fun, but difficult.
Yeah, you have to take your own.
That's a weird song. Anyway, we were talking about that yesterday. Lyrics in that are very odd. So England play, of course, play Argentina next week. So it'll be interesting to see.
It's on Sunday, isn't it?
On Sunday. So there is a new competition that we're going to have next year. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is England's schedule announced this morning. For those of you on Spotify, I'll read it out. So next summer, England travel to South Africa at the beginning of July. They then play a week later Fiji. And then a week after that, they have to fly to Argentina and play Argentina. Bonkers.
Apparently, there are no direct flights from South Africa to Argentina anymore.
Really?
Yeah. According to my tour leader from our Argentinian trip, I'm just catching up on WhatsApp.
They used to have a treaty between the two countries. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then the next. This is all part of what's called the Nations Championship. And then next winter, we play Australia, Japan, and New Zealand. I'm not doing all the other home nations. We're just talking England here. And then the fourth game is some sort of fifth place, fourth, first place, whatever. And we all go home for tea and medals. We talk about player welfare. This doesn't feel like we're looking after the players at all.
Not at all. Not at all. You couldn't. I mean, sure, chucking the All Blacks in that summer pattern as well. You get South Africa and Fiji. I mean, that's two of the toughest. And then Argentina in Argentina. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. They reckon they're going to play Fiji in South Africa. So there'll be 2 games in South Africa, and then they fly to Argentina for the third.
Of course, there will be.
Bonkers. Anyway,
as how the impact that's going to have on our internationals in terms of being able to play for the club, it's bloody ridiculous.
And we want our lads to, have the opportunity to play at the pinnacle of the game. But
yeah,
it does feel like club rugby is,
Yeah.
Anyway,
moving swiftly on.
Towcester Under 11s and 8s.
Yes, we have a video from Harry.
So today we played against what club?
Banbury.
We played against Banbury, and we did quite good. We definitely have some room to improve with our tackling and our jackling. We really suck at that. We should definitely get better at that. It was a good one. Very far away though, and I was on the furthest away pitch. I'm very tired now. We had a good game. I had lots of fun. They weren't the nicest of players. They injured 1 or 2 of our players. They hurt my nose. We had a good session though, and apart from that, all fun.
Is everything? Okay.
He does look wrapped up warm, doesn't he?
Just looked wrapped up warm. I think it's I talk about being hypercritical, but apparently he got punched in the face by a player from the opposition from Banbury, but he just cracked on with it, got on with it, and didn't let it throw him off stride. So well done to Harry.
Well done, Harry.
The international man of mystery didn't want to speak to the press, but had told his mother that she could issue a statement on his behalf. He played very well, made some lovely runs, and shimmied around the opposition.
Oh, very good.
He got praised by his coach for doing so well. And also, Banbury's sausage rolls for the players are rated very highly, apparently.
Very good. Yes.
So there we go. It's all here. All here.
So don't we have a lad from Banbury in the academy? Matt Good, who used to want to be one of the community coaches.
Yes, his son, Sonny.
Sonny is playing, isn't it? Yes, because you and I saw him train. So
yeah. So
blimey. Right, walking rugby. Now, Dr. Jones was very cross. Just a quick update from my neck of the woods. He got canned yesterday because of the weather, so he was a bit cross.
I did see something on Facebook from a comedian's one that I follow, and he said, got a text, this was on Saturday, got a text saying my daughter's football at 9:30 in the morning has been cancelled due to the weather. No further details because I was too busy opening a can and punching the air. Yeah, we've all been there. Please let it be cancelled. Anyway, so walking rugby. Oh, and just thinking before we go on to walking rugby about Towcester Under 8s, and Henry, he makes it look rugby as you either do a try or you do something that lets somebody else do a try.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes.
Well,
It's
that's what
spirit.
That's what
Yeah.
Harry and Alfie work to. If you can't do a try, you do something.
You
that lets one
enable
of
somebody else to do it.
try.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Walking rugby. We've got a game away at Brackley on Thursday. So I'm not going. I'm going somewhere else. I've got a meal out. But also, our banging on about walking rugby has led to a new recruit for walking rugby. So well
And
done,
regular
Darren.
listener to the pod.
Yeah. So
Well
he's
played, Dan.
rolled up. I'm waiting for my gin as payment from Callum. When you're ready.
Yes. Saints Supporters Club.
Saints Supporters Club. Oh, just on the walking rugby, we did have some bad news that one of our early members died.
Oh,
6th of November. So Francis, who was a lovely, gentle chap, and he had pancreatic cancer
Oh.
and unfortunately died. So sending love and condolences to all friends and family for him.
absolutely.
Right, moving on to the supporters club. We have got potentially a Christmas do. We're just working on it, trying to get it all dotted. So if you've missed out on the carol concert thing, then keep an eye open for this. There may well be mulled wine and mince pies have been mentioned.
Oh.
I'll be there.
Oh.
So we will, when it's all confirmed, we'll be putting stuff out for that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So next weekend, we have
Weekend,
more rugby. On Friday, Saints travel to Welford Road.
Yeah.
To play Leicester. Yippee.
Whoopee.
The second East Midlands derby of the season. So it'll be interesting to see the selection, because I think we're back into the build-up for the next, because we've got 3 away games on the bounce now. So the next one after that, of course, is our favourite location of
Bristol.
So I think we're in the build-up. So I think we'll be mixing and matching on selection.
Yeah.
I think we might, it'd be really interesting to see where the coaches go with this one. And it is an East Midlands derby. So there's that one. England are playing Argentina.
Yeah, on Sunday.
On Sunday, which is good because that means we get a day off on Saturday. Bedford, I think it's a rest week.
Yeah.
And Loughborough, it's a rest week for the league. They had their bye week this week, and it's rest week for the league next week. So really all eyes are on Leicester Tigers versus Saints at Welford Road, and England versus Argentina at the Allianz Stadium. So interesting times.
And we will be going to pod before the England-Argentina game, won't we? Because
we will. Because
this time next week I will be on a plane.
Yes. And for those of you worried about the pod whilst Mrs. Saunders is off having gallivanting, we have already organised well, I don't think anyone could stand in for you, Liz, because that wouldn't,
No.
Not happening, is it?
We have a guest. We have a guest presenter.
A guest presenter, Mrs. C. So you'll all get to meet Mrs. C, who has kindly offered to be a guest presenter. So you'll get her own unique view of rugby. Or it is unique. And actually, I've got a job to do. I've got to have a rummage in some old programmes. Must remember to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You go rummaging. Yes.
Because Mrs. C has put in a request. Well, we sort of agreed we would do something. Anyway, yes, so we have got plans, but it means we're going to do an early pod on Saturday next week. And so therefore it'll be before England and play Argentina. We might include England-Argentina in the following week's pod if
well, you might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Sweeping up. Yeah.
Sweeping up. And then before we know it, we're into Europe.
Yeah. Yes, and that's going to cause some podding issues, isn't it? Because we play on Sunday night, so presumably you don't get back till the Monday.
It's Sunday lunchtime. It's a Sunday lunchtime.
Oh, is it? But
yes.
when are you getting back?
I'm travelling on Monday, so we need to work out.
So don't take away the fact that we will not be able to.
If I've got really good Wi-Fi, we could do a post-match like we did in Munster there and then. Do you remember when we did it? Yeah, so I'm not necessarily ruling out that we could do a pod in.
Because you got stranded, you couldn't get home. That was why we had to do it.
Yes, so we had Storm, whatever it was called that time, where that was the one where Elliot and Hutch on their joining the Scotland camp.
That's right.
Hutch ended up in Germany. And Elliot,
had a guided tour of Europe.
The squad, and travelled back with the Saints lads, ended up getting to Scotland camp before Hutch, even though Hutch had set off somewhat earlier than Elliot had.
Oh, directly.
And Dr. Jones and I ended up in a hotel. We've still got no idea where that hotel was. There was no electricity in the area. We were really lucky that our hotel had its own generators, which is why we had Wi-Fi and stuff. And I podded from a hotel room. I seem to remember we got interrupted with tea, or there was something happened anyway. But we very excitedly podded because we won that game. So I'm not ruling out that the hotel hasn't got good enough Wi-Fi that we can pod post game on Sunday.
We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that when we get there.
Don't worry, there will be a pod.
There will be a pod. It may not be at the usual time. That's all I'm trying to get over to the boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, that there may be, and any others, anybody else who may identify as anything else, that I don't want to offend anybody. Well, that's not true. There are some people I'd happily offend.
We went through a list last week, I seem to recall.
What people I'd happily offend? Yes.
It involved the Irish, the French, the Welsh.
Oh, yeah, Welsh. Yeah. Okay. Right. Anyway. We have had some positive feedback from the horses.
Yes, the horses were quite happy with and this week they'll be more than happy because we're well in over our. Apparently, Henry's O2 interview. If you haven't seen it, O2 on sideline, the Henry interview and the Finn interview. Actually, I quite enjoyed the Finn Baxter one as well. Were really interesting. Really interesting. So worth a listen or a watch. And partly in the case of the Henry one, you get to meet Will Parkin, who who of course was one of the community coaches at Saints. A lovely man, and again has gone through that route and is now is one of Henry's early coaches. So brilliant stuff.
So thank you to Jane for the shortbread. Thank you to Charlie for the mince pies. Thank you to the lovely Richard for the frangipani, which I can assure you are gorgeous.
Thank you to the person who's just bought a photo, probably the under nines, literally in the last few minutes. Yes, last few minutes. Thank you to the person who's literally just bought a photo. The Wheelchair Rugby guys will appreciate every penny.
And we will see you soon somewhere. On the pod,
that was episode 17.
It was indeed.
The Ladies
Series
Wot Pod.
2. Ladies Wot Pod. Bye.
Bye.